Welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal channel. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. There is something going on at Arsenal this summer and we need to talk about it. We are raiding Spain for a couple of players, and not just any players, but players in key positions that Mikel Arteta considers very, very important. So the question is why? Mikel Arteta is a very big fan of players in the Premier League. Ben White, David Raya, Declan Rice, Gabriel Jesus, Alexander Zinchenko, and a couple of other signings that have come through the Premier League have actually been very, very effective. But this time, it looks like the manager and his team are going to Spain to bring in the silver lining, the players that are going to complete phase 5 for Arsenal. My question is easy and simple. Why are we going to Spain at this point in time when the squad needs very important players in a very important phase? And also, who are these players that we're looking at and how good are they and how impactful will they be? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let me know your thoughts about the La Liga. Do you think that Arsenal should use the La Liga as a shopping ground? It's not having very expensive players, but it's having very good talent. Should Arsenal go there more often, probably, than going to Brazil or than going to France? Let me know what you think about the league in general and its quality. So this is a summer where Arsenal are expected to spend about 200 million, 300 million, or even 400 million if we have the resources. Mikel Arteta himself has said it's going to be a big summer. It's going to be an important one, and we're very excited and very prepared about it. But one of the things that have actually caught my eye is the fact that Arsenal are looking at so many players in La Liga, and many of the deals are actually either close or sure deal, they'll happen. So why are we going there and what is changing? The first thing is market opportunities. We know that at Arsenal, we are running a sustainable development model. And this means that the club is not going to depend on only the cronkies to pour money into the project. The club has to generate its own funds and also spend the funds very wisely. That means that if we spend about 200 million, that means that we'll have made around 500 million in terms of revenue. And that is a very good model in terms of complying with the sustainability rules of the Premier League, but also the financial fair play rules of the Champions League. I don't have a problem with that. And the first thing that that model actually creates is you're going to have to look at market opportunities. And Spain this summer has a hell lot of market opportunities. So when we say market opportunities, you're looking at players that are really good, players who should be valued at around maybe 50 million, 40 million, 60 million, or 70 million, or even 80 million, and they're going for, I would say cheap prices or quite very low prices. And a couple of market opportunities this summer is Joan Garcia at Espanyol. That is a goalkeeper who should be costing about 30 million euros. Now, if Espanyol stay up, he's going to cost just 22 million euros, and that could be negotiated down to around 18 or even 15 million euros. If Espanyol are relegated, they will have to sell him for around 13 million euros. That is the release clause of the player. That is the first market opportunity. Arsenal are looking at that market and they're saying, we want a second choice goalkeeper, but you're not going to spend 30 million on a second choice goalkeeper or even 40 million. You want a deal between 20 million euros, that is around 17 million pounds or 16 million pounds. And Joan Garcia is one of the best in the game. Understands Spanish football, understands playing out of the back. He's a very good goalkeeper with his feet. For that amount of money, that's a very good market opportunity. But it's not the only market opportunity Arsenal are watching in Spain. Martin Zubimendi on any other day is an 80 million pound signing. He's a midfielder that is going to, cause a lot of chaos and echo among, opponents. He's going to cost Arsenal just 50.2 million. It makes more sense why Arsenal would go for Zubimendi 50.2 million over any other player. I mean, Romeo Lavia is there at Chelsea. We could have gone in for that one. And a couple of other players that Arsenal could have maybe looked at. But Zubimendi for 50.2 million is not a market opportunity only, is a steal. Arsenal are robbing Real Sociedad, right? This is one of the craziest market opportunities you can get. And of course, it comes from the fact that Arsenal can trigger the release clause of the player, which is very low, or we can agree to pay a slightly higher fee, which is still very low, 50.2 million for Martin Zubimendi. And if you think that is a steal and that is low, think about the Nico Williams deal, guys. Nico Williams is a market opportunity beyond. He's going to cost just 45, and many clubs, including Bayern, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, they're looking at him and they're saying, there is your next superstar. That could be our next superstar. For Manchester United, that could be their next Cristiano Ronaldo. For Arsenal, that could be our next Thierry Daniel Henry, or maybe Theo Walcott. For Liverpool, they need to replace Salah. That could be the guy. But for him to cost 45 million, it is crazy. I mean, to put that into context, Bournemouth are saying they want about 60 million for Bryan Mbeumo. And last summer, one of the very exciting wingers in world football, Desire Doué, right now at PSG, cost upwards of 60 million. Kavicha Kvaratskhelia in January cost upwards of 60 million. And Omar Mamouche in January cost upwards of 70 million. So when I think about Nico Williams, he's in the bracket of those players. He's in the same bracket, but it's going to cost just 45 million. It's not a surprise Arsenal are raiding Spain for these players. But the other thing that Mikel Arteta is looking at, and Arsenal as a whole, apart from so many market opportunities in Spain, we are looking at the Arteta system and players that fit it. Now, obviously, this is not an excuse. Mikel Arteta's system is very, very complicated. He needs a goalkeeper that is very comfortable on his feet, and he needs a midfielder, especially in DM, that is so good at taking care of the ball, a player that is brave, and a player that's going to make maybe 8 out of 10 decisions right. If you're that player, then 100% you can play for Mikel Arteta. And that is why for Thomas Partey, we are having a lot of diehards saying, you can't let go of Thomas Partey. Who's going to play there without him? Because he has understood the Mikel Arteta philosophy and he has got it right on every single occasion. So, which players are we looking at in Spain? And you look at them and you're saying, this is a Mikel Arteta player, and this is why Mikel is crazy over them. The first one is Martin Zubimendi once again. Now, if you think about Zubimendi and you think about Rodri, there are a few things that maybe differ. I think Zubimendi is a quicker player, and we have seen that when Spain have Zubimendi, the transition is quicker, and the general play is quick as well. Rodri on the other side takes his time. He's a very meticulous planner of on the ball, but he takes his time. And he's also a very, very good player off the ball as well. But Rodri and Zubimendi are like beans in the same pod. They're very, very alike. These guys, when they're in midfield, the rhythm is undeniable. It's unprecedented. I think Zubimendi is going to be the metronome in that Arsenal midfield, just like Rodri is the metronome, the heartbeat of the Manchester City midfield. And no wonder, without Rodri, Manchester City have struggled this campaign to an extent that most of their players are leaving and they have not even found a replacement or kind of a cover for Rodri. So the first thing I want to say about Martin Zubimendi is he's already suited to the kind of football we play at Arsenal. Think about Spain at the Euros. I know you might not watch Spain UEFA Nations League. It's a little bit boring. Maybe FIFA World Cup qualifiers. It's boring as well. You don't watch it. But think about the Euros and think about Spain. Spain didn't play this total domination football, but Spain didn't give away their position 100%. I mean, we were not seeing a Spain side that were having 13% ball possession or 15% or 20%. We're seeing a Spain side that were having about 40 to 45% or even at times 49% ball possession. And that tells you that this is a hybrid of the Vicente Del Bosque team. That's what we're seeing. It's a hybrid. It's an adaptation of the Vicente Del Bosque team. And Arsenal is a very copy and paste team when it comes to Spain right now. We've got very quick players on the wings, Martinelli and Saka, and then we've got very athletic midfielders in the middle, the likes of Odegaard, the likes of Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and the others. So I think that system that Spain are playing right now is exactly what Mikel Arteta wants to implement at Arsenal. And I'm not surprised that he was all over the Martin Zubimendi deal. And he said, let's go and do it in January. It will make more sense. Listen to me. It will make more sense for Arsenal to sign Martin Zubimendi in the long run. He's going to be the metronome. He's going to be the leader in that midfield. But also, when I think about players like Joan Garcia, I think Joan Garcia and David Raya are kind of alike. Obviously, David Raya has played at a higher level. He's made it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League twice now. He might make it to the UEFA Champions League semi-finals for the first time in his life, and of course for Arsenal in a very, very long time. But when you think about Joan Garcia, again, a Mikel Arteta player, very comfortable on the ball, but he's a very good player in terms and goalkeeper in terms of shot stopping. That is what Mikel wants. He doesn't want your Aaron Ramsdale, very good shot stopper, but very poor on the ball. And he doesn't want your, Victor Valdez, very good on the ball, but very poor at shot stopping. He wants a balance. He wants a hybrid of a goalkeeper. One that is very good on his feet, maybe moderately good on his feet, but also good when it comes to his hands and keeping the ball out of his net. And that's why I kind of feel like, right from the start, Emiliano Martinez was going to leave Arsenal sooner or later. He's a very fantastic goalkeeper with his hands. He's a very good goalkeeper in penalties. But when it comes to playing up from the back, I know he's been world goalkeeper, best goalkeeper from the World Cup, and a few people are saying he's the best goalkeeper in the world right now. I don't believe so. I think there is a reason why every single time we talk about the best goalkeeper in the world, we talk about Alisson, a goalkeeper that is very good with his feet, but also very confident with his hands as well. And then Nico Williams. Now, when it comes to Nico Williams, I would say you could get his profile elsewhere. Karu Mitoma can do that. Simeon Adingra can do that. Yankumba Minte at Brighton can do that. Honestly, I've just talked about Brighton players only. Anthony Gordon at Newcastle can give you that as well. And a couple of other players, I believe, can give you that kind of profile. But when you couple Nico Williams' profile with Gabriel, and you compare it to Gabriel Martinelli's, and then you think about the price tag, you understand why Arsenal are going in that direction. Anton Semenyo is going to cost 45 million. But is Anton Semenyo having the same ceiling as Nico Williams? In my opinion, no. I think Williams is having a higher ceiling and is going to be a much better player. So I think all these transfers that we're talking about, they're linked to Mikel Arteta, his playing style, his vision, and he wants and the way he wants his team to operate and how he wants his team to set up. And then, number 3, why Arsenal are raiding Spain, the profile that we do not have. I mean, think about this. Arsenal needs a player that can help out with the mid-block, right? Someone who's comfortable with receiving in tight spaces, operating in tight spaces, a player that is willing to break through the lines, receive in between the lines. That profile is familiar. Arsenal have had such a player before. Yeah, Santiago Gonzalez Cazorla, Cesc Fabregas. We've had that player before. And it's no surprise that Arsenal are going back to Spain to look for that kind of profile. Now, with all due fairness, Arsenal have looked at Julian Brandt, Arsenal have looked at Xavi Simons and Leroy Sané. All those are players that can do that role for you. But think about this. Ada Goulet is one player Arsenal looking at. 30 million euros. Market opportunity, right profile, can fit into the Mikel Arteta style. Alex Molero, 21, 30 million euros, can fit into the Mikel Arteta style. And you think about the likes of Fermin Lopez, the market opportunities and the chances that you have to get such players. Again, it makes sense. Arsenal are looking for a profile that is not available and present at the moment, for me, in the Premier League. Yes, people have talked about Morgan Rogers. What a player. What a player. But of course, I think Aston Villa will be more likely to cling on to Morgan Rogers than let him go just like that. So again, Arsenal have been forced to go out there and look for a player that is comfortable on the ball, but very comfortable in tight spaces. A player that is different from Odegaard, a player that is an attacking midfielder, a profile that we do not have. And for me, Gula, Molero, and Fami Lopez, that is how they come into the picture. Now, I want to say, Arsenal are not wrong by raiding Spain. For the financial reasons, all the good financial reasons in the world, it makes a lot of sense. And for all the, for all the footballing reasons in the world, it still makes a lot of sense. The only one that I would say Arsenal should stay away from, for me, it might be Adagule. Yeah, it might be Adagule. I kind of feel like Arsenal with Ethan Nwaneri in the team, Lewis Kelly in the team, why would we bother to get Adagule? Don't get me wrong, he's a good player. I just feel like we are stocked enough in that area. And I would say go for Alex Molero. I would say go for Fami Lopez at Barcelona. Go for go for any other player. I think we have the profile of Adagule at Arsenal. So let me know, what do you think about Arsenal raiding Spain? And do you think these players will work for us? Hit the like button and speak to you right in the next one.